We are steaming ahead into the midway point of 2025, and this is now the start of the gaming season that we all know and love, with some huge showcases on the way, including the Xbox showcase, which I know so many of us are incredibly hyped for. It's certainly going to be a busy month news-wise for all of us Xbox gamers. Alongside this though, we do have quite a few notable releases as well this June, and it's lining up to be a quality month as well for Xbox Game Pass. So keep an eye out for the Xbox Game Pass icon so you know which games will be entering the service. With that out of the way though, my name is Fletcher, and this is Xbox Nation, and let's dive right into the games coming our way for this June. First up, and on the 6th of June, we are finally seeing the release of Zenless Zone Zero onto Xbox consoles, and judging by the comments on this channel since we got the announcement a couple of months ago, quite a few of you are really hyped for this brand new release. I won't lie though, I have absolutely no clue what this game is about, but I know it's a massive free-to-play game with tons of gacha elements, but I will be looking into this further along with potentially trying this game out prior to its launch to essentially see why it's so widely praised. The dev team though over at Hoyoverse have promised a ton of additional content here, from exciting new updates that we really won't want to miss. We've also been made aware that this will be available on both of the Xbox Series consoles and via cloud, and this arrives alongside its major 2.0 update, which includes some brand new zones, mechanics and characters for us to discover. Are you going to be diving into Zenless Zone Zero? I am actually keen to hear your thoughts on this one down below. One game which has me personally very excited for this June is Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine Master Crafted Edition, and the fact this game is coming to Xbox Game Pass as a day one title is still quite astonishing. As you can see right now though, this is looking like a quality remaster, but this time it's bringing higher fidelity and improved textures, improvements to character models, modernized controls and so much more. The remaster is actually also said to come with an 8v8 online multiplayer mode with crossplay, and if you've had any chance to play the PvP over on Space Marine 2, then you can get easy excited with me, as that mode was a ton of fun. As a big Warhammer stan, I love that we're finally seeing this remaster, as we were stuck over on 360 with no backwards compatibility for quite some time, but is now only arriving a couple of weeks away. It does also come to Xbox Game Pass, as I mentioned, as a day one release, and as of right now, it's also an Xbox console exclusive. I won't lie, I'm lining up MindsEye with a ton of skepticism, as the previews and early gameplay shown by quite a few creators and press outlets is not looking or sounding very great at all. I really wanted to get behind this game when it first got announced, as you essentially have the old GTA director pedigree behind this one, and the animations, specifically in the cutscenes and the gameplay, did look very good when it was first shown off. It does seem, however, that the walls are crumbling around it, and many of us are getting quite skeptical overall, as we recently only received a 30-second gameplay trailer and nothing else, which is certainly quite odd so close to its release. As such, it'll be very interesting to see how this release is received. I'm still hoping that this one turns out to be a surprisingly fun romp, as I love that we're getting another narrative-driven single-player action-adventure thriller. What are your thoughts on MindsEye? Do you have any expectations, or are you going to dive into this one at launch? Open your own MindsEye in the comments section below. Rainbow Six Siege X finally arrives this June, and again this game is another one that is splitting the community in half. This is mainly due to the fact that the game is going free to play and is getting somewhat of a slight graphical overhaul, but I believe many out there were actually anticipating a much larger release. Even so, this new edition comes to Xbox on the 10th of June, and as I mentioned, it is going free to play, which means you can dive into Siege without any barrier and experience that tactical mayhem that made it such a standout title to this day. The team though at Ubisoft are actually bringing in a brand new game mode which is at the forefront of this brand new experience, and it's called Dual Front. In essence, this mode is sort of a mashup of TDM with Siege elements, as both of your teams will be defending and attacking at the very same time with unlimited resources. There also seems to be a ton of other updates as well in this release, like map reworks, a graphical overhaul, some better simulation to the likes of smoke and fire physics, and quite a bit more. This game is also coming as a day one title to Xbox Game Pass, which means all of us subscribers will be getting the premium edition for free, and then there is a ton of extra perks coming to us subscribers every single month. The altars might be something special, and I've been really excited to get my hands on this one ever since it got shown off a couple of years ago now. After many delays though, it's finally coming out this month on the 13th of June. And yes, it will be coming to Xbox Game Pass as a day one release, and it's going to be an awesome addition if you like survival games with some very twisted, dark and dangerous moments. As a bit of a quick overview for you though, the character we take control of is called Yan, and he has the ability to create alters, which are alternate versions of himself, with each of them embodying a different life path. These alters will bring some very distinctive skills and perspectives to your team, helping solve different puzzles, gather resources, and also overcome some environmental hazards. As you can guess though, the more that you do rely on these different alters, the greater the psychological strain on Yan. It looks utterly fantastic from the gameplay and previews so far, and I'm hoping that that extra time has really polished it into a great experience. One game that I feel is going to be a real hidden gem for this June is FBC Firebreak, and I know many of you will sigh about the thought of another multiplayer game. However, if we go by the previews and what the devs have been promising along with many more details, this is really shaping up to be a pretty decent hit on Xbox Game Pass on the 17th of June. This one though puts us in the shoes of the Firebreak team, who essentially go into the oldest house in search to defeat the most powerful threats to humanity, and of course in true Control fashion, these bosses are wild and incredibly over the top. I will state out the gate though that the team over at Remedy are not bringing in battle passes, stupid login requirements, or anything you see in these overdone live service games, and instead the team are actually focusing on a more traditional co-op multiplayer experience where you essentially play the game, get resources, unlock upgrades, and dive back in again. This is definitely going to be such a hidden gem, and I think this is one you'll need to keep your eye on this June. Lost in Random: The Eternal Die is coming out on the very same day, so if you want a more single player oriented experience, then this one will be right up your alley. Of course though, this one is the follow up to the beloved Lost in Random that actually launched now a few years back, but as you can see it's making a real change and is now bringing us a top down isometric view along with a roguelike experience. The developers are actually describing this one as a journey through dark, unpredictable realms where a living die holds the power to shape your destiny. This sequel though looks to dive deeper into that universe of Random, bringing us brand new challenges and surprises and a world where the environment and situations will shift with every single step. In the game though, we will actually be stepping into the shoes of Queen Alexandra, a once powerful ruler now on a quest for revenge and redemption. The world here though, as you can see, looks to be even more visually striking and filled with tons of unexpected twists and turns where every roll of the die can open up new paths or present some brand new dangers. It looks awesome and I can't wait for this to come out to Xbox Game Pass as the first game with such a hidden gem on Xbox Game Pass. TRON Catalyst is looking like a pretty cool electrifying isometric action experience that's looking to fuse that sort of futuristic combat with time-bending mechanics to create a bold new chapter in the TRON universe. This new title though is centering on a brand new character named EXO, who is a determined program battling for survival in the perilous Arc Grid. As a bit of background though, an explosive event grants EXO a brand new unique power, which lets her loop time and exploit temporal anomalies to overcome her foes. As you can see, this is set within the dynamic cityscape of Vertical Slice and looks to offer us an immersive mix of high-speed light cycle chases, intense on-foot combat, and also strategic level replays where every loop reveals brand new secrets and different shortcuts. We did actually get a trailer for this one back at the Idea Xbox showcase a couple of months ago. It did look pretty cool, but I'm still quite mixed as I did want a different or grittier take on this TRON universe. If you are interested in this one though, and you want to dive into that futuristic action on both this Xbox Series consoles, it does launch on the 17th of June. I do have to apologise in advance, as I'm really not familiar with Soulstone Survivors, and according to the reviews over on Steam during its early access period, it's a disservice not to know what this game actually is. Upon doing some more digging for this video though, Soulstone Survivors is a fast-paced action roguelike where you essentially obliterate hordes of enemies, battle different colossal bosses, and forge your own path to godlike powers. In this one, you play as a Void Hunter, and you will harness devastating skills, craft some unique weapons, and unlock game-breaking synergies in your quest for power. As you can see though, this is a bullet hell through and through, and many within the early access period have said it's got a ton of content right out of the gate, including the likes of a huge skill tree with over 350 skills, tons of bosses, and just tons of great worlds and so much more. If you enjoy a twin stick survivor type game, this game will be right up your alley. This new awesome indie roguelike is launching into a full release out of early access on the 17th of June, and it will be available for both the Xbox Series consoles. Before diving into the remaining games for June, make sure to subscribe down below for more Xbox content every single day, as over 73% of you have not joined the fastest growing Xbox community here on YouTube. I am aiming for 100k by the end of this year, and I would love for you to join us on this incredible journey. If you are interested, I will also be live streaming both the Summer Games Fest and Xbox Showcase next week, and it'd be great to see you there. Thanks again for your continued support, and let's dive right back into the remaining games for June 2025. Calling all football fans, Rematch is arriving shortly and comes to us on the 19th of June as a day one Xbox Game Pass title. This is one game you really need to get excited for, as it's pretty safe to assume at this point that the devs behind Sifu do have another gem on their hands. Rematch is actually looking to transform the game that we all know and love, but including some unique mechanics and a 5v5 online setting. Previews so far have been swirling around for this game since its launch date got announced this June, and all previews have been incredibly positive for this brand new launch. I personally got my hands on this game during a couple of playtests a couple months back, and it's utterly fantastic. The controls here are insanely tight, and the gameplay loop is just non-stop, especially as there's no offsides, fouls, or anything else to slow down that gameplay loop. I can't wait to play more of this when it comes to Xbox Game Pass as a day one launch title, and I would be keen to hear your thoughts on this down in the comments below. As a bit of an interesting one for this June, Dear Villagers are bringing their high-speed open-world action game Star Overdrive to both of the Xbox Series consoles, and personally, I just can't wait for it. It has actually been out for quite some while over on Switch and PC to some rave reviews, and many are calling it Zelda but with a hoverboard. As mentioned though, we will be traversing the world on a hoverboard, gaining tricks to boost our speed. There also seems to be various different abilities and powers for us to use, alongside leveraging physics to maximize our capabilities. From doing a bit more research for this video, there does seem to be quite a lot of combat also present here, implementing those powers, and it looks pretty decent. The world also seems pretty large as well from this indie adventure, and it will let us explore 3 distinct biomes, each with unique landscapes, creatures, and hidden challenges. I can't wait to try out this new indie adventure, and I'll bring you my review sometime nearer to launch. On the 2nd of March 2006, Atlus actually created a new action RPG for the PlayStation 2, and excuse me if I get this pronunciation wrong, but it's called Devil Summoner RAIDOU Remastered vs the Soulless Army. It was actually the 3rd entry in the Shin Megami Tensei Devil Summoner spin-off series, which actually took the player on a bizarre adventure solving crimes while battling demons in 1930s Japan. The game was actually considered a very big cult classic for adapting that Shin Megami Tensei's turn-based combat into a real-time format, and its unique plot was also filled with tons of twists and turns. Now, us modern gamers will get to experience this Devil Summoner game, but refined for current platforms, as it's now called RAIDOU Remastered, The Mystery of the Soulless Army. This remastered edition will include all of the obvious elements like revamped graphics, an enhanced combat system, some nice quality of life improvements, and so much more. Finally, nearly 20 years later, we will finally get our hands on this one, and I'd be keen to hear if anyone actually was excited for this new remaster or had a chance to play it back in the day. The folks over at Super Evil Megacorp have announced a couple of weeks back that they will be bringing their roguelike Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate to both the Xbox Series X and S consoles this June. It will be arriving digitally, but there will be a deluxe edition and limited edition up for grabs, with a physical Xbox edition following on the 26th of August. To give you some clarity though, in Splintered Fate, no 2 runs here are ever the same. There's tons of randomized power-ups, room layouts, and boss modifiers. You will be able to team up with friends for online co-op action as you go on an adventure to save Shredder, all whilst mysterious portals appear across New York City. When this game arrived over on Switch last July, a lot of different press sites loved this new TMNT entry, and even drew comparisons to the likes of Hades. Since then though, the game has also got multiple different updates, adding DLC content and also improving that overall experience. To be honest, I'm looking forward to trying this one out when it comes to Xbox on the 24th of June. The final Xbox Game Pass game of June which we know about so far is Against the Storm, and although this game has been out on PC and on PC Game Pass for the past couple of years, it's finally heading to consoles for the very first time. This one is actually set in a dark fantasy world plagued by apocalyptic ruins, and it sees you leading different creatures alongside humans to reclaim the wilderness and rebuild their own civilizations. Interestingly though, Against the Storm does feature a roguelike gameplay loop, which sees your runs end if your settlements succumb to the Blightstorm. However, all of your resources, upgrades and experience do carry over into your next run, giving you a much needed boost to help your critter-filled civilization prosper once more. If you fancy checking out Against the Storm when it drops onto consoles, it arrives on the 26th. I for one do love a city builder, and going by the insanely positive reviews, alongside the fact this is one of the highest rated games of 2023, I'm extremely excited. System Shock 2 really did revolutionise storytelling, atmosphere and gameplay in the medium, inspiring a generation of titles. It completely reshaped the way that gaming audiences viewed the potential for storytelling in first-person games, and went on to win over a dozen awards and Game of the Year recognitions. Night Dive Studios though have taken their talents to this game that many consider one of the best first-person shooters of all time. Like its remastered predecessor, which we saw a couple of years ago now, System Shock 2 25th Anniversary Remaster has been rebuilt for modern platforms using Night Dive Studios' proprietary KEX engine, offering players the definitive System Shock 2 experience with improved visuals, enhanced gameplay and vastly improved performance of up to 4K 120 FPS. It's not only the most visually impressive version of this title today, but it will also be the most stable, as numerous bugs in the original PC game have also been fixed. If you are interested in revisiting this masterpiece of a game, or you just want to see why it was so influential, then you can dive into it when it launches on both the Xbox Series consoles on the 26th of June. What game are you looking forward to this June? Do you like the look of any of the Xbox Game Pass games coming soon? Let me know down below, and I hope you will all join me on FBC Firebreak when that finally arrives this month. Remember to like this video if you enjoyed, and do subscribe as I do bring out Xbox content here every single day. Again, I will be live streaming both the Summer Games Fest alongside the Xbox Showcase this June, so join me between the 6th and 8th of June for those two events. Whilst here though, why don't you check out the video on screen right now, as I did cover the 16 brand new Xbox and Game Pass games coming out for this week, and let's see if any of them are worth your time and money.